Hey y'all, welcome to our podcast, Love Speaks Volumes,
where we seek to bridge the communication gaps in our relationships.
We are your hosts. I'm Louise, a certified marriage counselor and certified sex therapist.
And I'm Mekka, a defense lawyer with over 20 years experience.
We are mothers,
wives,
sisters,
and friends.
And together, we are Black Diamonds 2.0 Entertainment. We are strong,
resilient,
powerful,
beautiful,
but never flashy,
pressured, but unbreakable.
Are you a Black Diamond?
If so, wear your title boldly and proudly because you deserve it, my kings and queens.
How are all our Black Diamonds doing today? What's going on in our relationships? Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
We recording, we live.
You got to say, y'all. Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all. We back again.
Once again, we are at it. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, we'd like to thank everyone who liked, subscribed, followed. You know, you know what I found out today? We're up to 800 downloads on the podcast.
Keep it coming, baby. Keep it coming, boo. We appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much. We appreciate the love. We appreciate all the encouragement. And we got some good news. We coming soon with our podcast room.
Yes.
Miss Mekka.
It's coming along.
I'm telling you, Miss Mekka is doing major decorating in here. It's awesome.
I don't know about major, friend.
Well, it seemed major to me, y'all. I don't decorate.
But it's gonna be all right.
It's gonna be
all right.
nice.
We're gonna show it to you. We're gonna do some videos.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do some video recording rather than just audio recording, so you can see what we're talking about, and you can see us talking. How about that?
Ooh, the facial expressions. You would have been.
Y'all ready for that?
You know what? Especially when we bring people like Marty back. He was kicking me under the table, y'all. He was kicking me under the table.
So, Dr. Love, we coming for you.
We coming for you, Dr. Love. If y'all don't know anything about that, just go back and listen to that Entanglements episode part 2 with Marty.
Yeah, but we got a whole new episode for you today, and we hope you enjoy it.
Yes.
We're going to talk about to sex or not to sex. That is the question.
That is the question.
Actually, this is a question that kind of came up. My husband and I talked about this. We were actually watching an episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville.
That's her show, y'all. That's her show. Let me tell you something. Show. She loves that show. If anybody from Love and Marriage Huntsville, producers, whatever y'all hear, Mekka really, she loves y'all's show.
I like the show. I do like the show. I don't like everybody on the show.
Well, okay.
I'm gonna tell you that. But
it's
probably only two people that I really do like.
Oh no.
And that's Kimmy and her husband Maurice. So shout out to the two of them.
Okay.
Because they keep it real.
They keep it real.
That
sounds
and I
like you.
Them. That's probably why I like them so much. And they ain't all about the bullshit. I mean, it's just some of them just on some whole nother bullshit. And when we get grown and you get to a certain level in your career, in your life, you would think that you have outgrown the bullshit. Some of them haven't, and they all about the bullshit. So I don't think the two of them are, but we're going to get into this episode.
Wait. But since you brought up Love and Marriage Huntsville, so I wonder if the reason why we see so much drama in reality TV is because it sells and people are hungry for that.
Sex, fights.
Yes. Throwing water bottles.
Drama.
Yes.
It sells, but it also makes you look bad. And unfortunately, we're all grouped together as Black people. And so my thing is when you matriculate to a certain level, I would never do anything to just for credits or just for clout to make myself or my race or just look bad. I'm just not about it. I'm not about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not about the bullshit, and I'm not about to make myself look foolish just to keep some numbers going, because you really do have to live outside of those episodes. And
well, I wonder how much of it is scripted and acting and all of that. So the truth of the matter is they may not really even be who they're portrayed on television. They're doing it for
It's
and
called
a check.
reality TV for entertainment purposes, though.
Exactly.
I get it. I get it. I'm just saying, don't write my role as a bullshitter role.
Okay, so if y'all want Mekka and James to be on reality TV,
you're going to get reality TV. I don't know if you're ready for it, to be honest. I don't know if you're ready for all this reality.
Look, it might be a little too real, and we're going to have to...
cutting and editing and cutting and editing. Not even just the beef. They're going to just be cutting and editing like, oh my God, I don't think the world is ready for all of that reality. But,
I would watch it. Giggling, y'all. It's funny.
Oh my God.
Look soon for the reality of the Nelson family.
Child, I'm trying to tell you.
It's awesome.
They ain't ready for that. They not ready for that. Not at all.
We done had a whole side podcast.
Yeah, a whole, because this was not at all what we were trying to talk about. Not at all. So let's get to what we were trying to talk
let's refocus.
Today.
We digress.
So on one of these episodes, so if you watch the show, you know that Kimmy is going through or has gone through breast cancer. And part of that is that she had to go through chemo as part of her treatment plan, or radiation or both. And what that did for her was it totally zapped her libido. It totally zapped her desire to want to have sex. And so... Also in that episode, she took a moment and she was explaining to her husband, hey, I not that I don't love you, but I just don't have the desire, but I give it to you anyway.
Right.
Because I know what you need. I know, this is who you are. You need this to feel love. And I sacrifice and I do that for you. And so it seemed as though he took a little bit of offense to it and was like, hey, I don't want you to do that, though. If you don't want to do it, I want to, So I paused the TV, because we had a DVR. Boom. And because I see a lot of my husband in Maurice.
Oh.
Sex, he needs it. He needs it. I get it. And so, but I will never tell anybody our libidos match. It does not. It does not.
But who does, though?
I don't know.
I don't really know a lot of people.
I don't know.
That...
I don't know real, real couples that libidos are on the same page, or at the same time.
Yeah, so that might be a good poll question. We'll put that one out there. Y'all follow us.
Absolutely. So, but we don't match, and so But I paused and I was like, what do you think about that? He was like, well, I wouldn't want you to do it if you don't want to do it. I was like, bullshit. I don't believe that. So I was like, okay, what if, there's various reasons, of course. There's various reasons why a woman may not want to do it. Of course, Kimmy's reason is, medical and something that she can't help. But there's all kinds of reasons. So I was saying to him, I was like, okay, well, menopause, we getting older. What if you go through menopause and you're just like, you're not feeling it. You just, I don't want to be touched. I don't want to, I don't have the libido. He was like, well, I still want you to tell me that. And just like, I said, but I'm willing to sacrifice for you because I know you need that. And he was like, but I'm willing to sacrifice for you as well. And I was like, for how long? How long you willing to sacrifice? Please tell me. And so his thing was, as long as it needs.
Forever?
I said, bullshit.
Where is James? We need him on the mic.
Girl, let me tell you something. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit because it is. That is bull. Gosh. Trust me when I tell you that is bull.
He loves you.
But he also loves sex. And so,
this is why we need a video camera.
He's also still young. We're young. And so the thing of it is, I know how much sex means to him. Sex is a love language for him.
Got it.
Even though it doesn't say that as one of the 5 love languages,
it does.
It doesn't say sex. It just says physical touch.
But
so that's part of that physical touch. I get it. I get it. What I'm saying is he can do without all of it, as long as you get the sex. You know what I'm saying? So you get the sex, all right, he's good. But he feels love through sex. And I get that.
Got it.
Totally get that. So I was like, but babe, okay, would you really want to know the times that I'm sacrificing for you? And the flip side of that, the other part of that question that Kimmy posed to her husband, which I also posed to mine, was she was like, hey, I hem it hard just to get you there. And he was like, well, I don't want you to do that. She was like, but does it not help you get there?
So she was also faking it?
So not necessarily faking an orgasm, but faking that
it was great and she was really into it.
That part.
Got it.
To get him, because the moaning groaning helps you get there. You think, hey, blow
I'm
up.
the man.
Yes.
I'm blowing this spot up.
So he was like, yeah, I don't want you to do that. And so my other part says, I don't say my better part because we both better. My other part says, yeah, I don't want you to do that. I was like, bullshit. I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
That might be the title of this episode.
Bullshit. That's the title of this episode. I don't believe you.
Yes.
I don't believe you. So we had this whole conversation. Now, I will say, a few days later, he wanted to revisit this conversation.
In his defense. James, she got your back.
I do. All day, every day. All day, every day. So I think he's backing up a little bit off of that because, and here's the thing. It's not necessarily when we're not in the mood that we don't love you or don't want to have sex. It's just we could be tired.
Right.
So it could be, I'm always on the go. We are working moms. We're always doing something. And so just because, I'm not feeling it at the moment and I sacrifice for you doesn't mean I don't want to have sex with you. It's just I'm tired.
Right.
And it could be a plethora of reasons. Let's explore that, friend. Let's explore that a little bit.
Because, as you're talking, so many things are just coming up. So, number one, I just want to say, and I don't know where Kimmy is in her journey or any of our listeners are in their journey with breast cancer or any other type of cancer, but just know that our prayers are with you guys because it can be extremely difficult to endure that and scary. And so, we're definitely sensitive to that. But one of the things that people typically don't talk about is how that impacts libido.
And their relationship.
Yep. Absolutely. And sometimes people don't talk about it with their spouses. They don't even bring it up with their doctors. And I would like to challenge everybody. Talk about it.
Yeah.
And we talk about that all the time. Let's talk
about it. That's what we're about. We're about communication. Communicate.
Yes.
You have to. Because I honestly feel that it is unfair not to.
It is, but sometimes, and I'll blame society. I'll blame doctors. It's like, oh, well, you should just be happy that you're alive, or that you're living. And I think that's wrong. I don't think that's the right view to have because you are losing different qualities of your life. And it instills some level of fear for people. And maybe you can't do everything that you used to be able to do.
Right.
Sometimes the treatments and medication, just medication in general, can cause all kinds of side effects, impacts on your libido, on, the vagina being moisturized enough. It can be dry. It can cause cracking. It's all kinds of things. Or for men who have prostate cancer, maybe you can't even get an erection anymore without having surgery or a pump or something like that. And so that's number one. I just want to encourage everyone to definitely have that conversation, not just with your partner, but also with your doctor, because there may be options for you. And if your doctor says, well, sorry, you should just be happy that you're living,
then you need to find another doctor.
Find another one.
Get gone quick.
Period.
Kick her to the curb.
Or find you one that specializes in sexual medicine. We have some really good ones here in Charlotte.
Yep.
So just find somebody that can help you out with that.
Absolutely. Because it's not about just living. It's about quality of life,
That's right. That's right. We don't want to just live.
Right.
Right?
We want to live and live abundantly, right?
Yeah. In the same way we talk about having conversation, everybody says communication is the problem in every relationship. That is such a broad term. We need to dig deeper into that and not just let it be this brushstroke of a conversation. Like, it needs to be quality conversation.
Absolutely.
It needs to have some emotional intimacy behind it. Even being able to say, hey, I'm scared that after chemo, or I'm scared that if I have a double mastectomy, when they do reconstruction, I'm not going to have the same nerve endings that I had before. And so maybe I don't receive that same amount of pleasure. And I know we're focusing a lot on cancer just because that was the line in the story.
Right.
But there are many other things that could cause people to lose libido. If you're a diabetic and you're a man, you could have, low testosterone. We see that in the news all the time. There's every men's clinic on every corner that will give you injections for $5,000-$6,000, And so it's something that you need to talk about. If you're frustrated, if you're angry, need to be talking about it, and you need to be telling your doctor, hey, something's off with me. Right?
Well, even with that communication, whether it's the male that's having the problem or the female that's having the problem, the other counterpart needs to create that safe space to allow them to be willing and able to communicate. Yep. So if you know your partner, cancer is something that, your partner should definitely know that you're going through. Sure. So you should definitely be able to create a safe space and say, hey, babe, let's talk. So you could even start the conversation. Let's talk. Yeah. So,
or pain. Right. Pain disorders too. We talked about that when we were talking about this episode. There are a lot of pain disorders that have recently kind of in the news over the past 15, 20 years have come up there's these different genital pain disorders for women that a lot of people have been living with, and doctors are telling them, just lay there and take it. And that's why I'm glad that Mekka and James had this conversation, because why would we want to traumatize a woman in that way? She should be able to say, that's not okay. Right. That hurts me. Can we please go see the doctor and figure out what's going on? And I'm not talking about STIs either. That is not to be, mixed up with that. No. I'm talking about endometriosis. I'm talking about fibroids. I'm talking about vestibulitis and all these types of...
Any reason for the pain. For the pain. You should be willing and able. You should, your opposing partner should create that safe space for you to talk, and you should be willing to talk.
And don't be faking that it doesn't hurt. Sorry.
What I always say,
don't hurt. Don't fake that it don't hurt. It's not good grammar, but
right. We aren't always grammatically correct, but you know what we saying.
Y'all know exactly what we saying.
What I always tell my daughter is, don't set yourself on fire to keep somebody else warm.
Please.
And that just simply means...
Say that again, friend, because that's good.
Don't set yourself on fire to keep somebody else warm.
Good word.
And what I mean by that is... don't put yourself through pain, or don't make yourself so uncomfortable just to make somebody else comfortable.
That's why this topic
should be a good one. It should be a give and take, especially if you're in those committed relationships, or hell, even if you're not in a committed relationship.
If you're dating,
don't go through pain just so. We ain't even making those type of sacrifices for people who ain't even really in it for the long haul. You know what I'm saying?
Rocks.
So that part.
We don't have time. Life is too short, right? I'm not going to be sitting here setting myself on fire.
But so here's the thing. We talked about, there's
all of those reasons. Yeah.
But what if
you're willing to make that sacrifice for that person? Let's say it's not a pain situation, because that's kind of where we're getting at. Let's say it's not a pain situation. Let's just say it's uncomfortable. Maybe you don't have the desire. So maybe, let's say for a woman, I'm just going to go down that road. Let's say you lack estrogen, you lack testosterone. Maybe you're perimenopausal. Maybe you're in the throes of menopause. And so
maybe I just don't like this food right now.
Okay, well, we'll go there in a minute.
That part.
We just going to talk about just
that could be
I know. We going to go there because she ready to kick somebody out, right?
No.
Maybe I just don't like that food. Maybe I just don't like that food right now.
Because I know many people who are there.
I know. I get
it. And I have to give a shout out to my people. So I know plenty who are there. But go ahead.
So with that, this is something that is physiologically going on with this person, right?
Not physical, right.
They don't have the want to, but they're willing to do it for the sake of the other person because they know that they need it.
Right.
Now, they're not necessarily setting themselves on fire, right? Because we're not saying, okay, I'm willing to hurt for this other person. So one thing that because I've had this conversation with my husband as well, not so much about sex, but about other things.
Yeah.
So he really likes jazz concerts and all that kind of stuff. I like live jazz music, but he can listen to it in the car. I don't want to listen to it in the car. But there are times that I will listen to it in the car because that's what he wants to do. And so that's exactly what it's a compromise.
It's
right.
sacrifice.
But it sounds like what James was saying in the beginning is, I'm not okay with you making that sacrifice because if you don't want to, then I don't want it. Now, on one side,
and he ain't gonna never say he don't want it. Let's be clear.
I just mean, like, he don't want you to do that. Now, Mekka trying to throw me off and I'm on a roll. So what I'm saying is that, you know, so as a sex therapist, I've seen a lot of couples with unmatched libido.
Right.
Hence why we did that episode.
Exactly.
Because I see that a lot. So if you have unmatched libido, I don't know that I have ever, in I don't know how many years of doing this work, seen a man come into my office and say, I just want her to lay there and just be a pincushion and I'm just going to poke at her. I don't know a man. I haven't seen that man unless it's somebody with some kind of sick, demented kind of thought process. But they want you to want it. It makes them feel good to feel wanted. I mean, who doesn't want to feel wanted and desired? And so what do, guys? Like, do we do it anyway every once in a while? Give them a little treat, throw them a bone?
I really don't think they really want to know how often.
It's going to be on the DL.
I don't really think they really want to know how often we make that sacrifice.
They don't.
Because they really don't get that our libido is so unmatched. Men probably think about sex 100 times a day.
Yeah.
We might think about it once. You know what I'm saying? A busy working mom. Yeah. Because we're thinking about so many other things. Sex is not
a priority.
I'm not going to say it's not a priority, but it's definitely not on the forefront of my mind every minute.
Right.
It is on the forefront of their mind every minute, probably.
Right.
Or every other minute.
Right.
Yeah, I got so many other things that, will come before I think about sex. I probably won't think about sex until I'm home and I've done all the things and I'm winding down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so they're probably thinking about it all throughout the day.
Let me put a little plug out there for all the husbands real quick. Maybe if y'all just heard what Mekka just said. Maybe if y'all did all that other stuff that I would have to do when I walk in the door, if y'all go ahead and get that done.
Wishful thinking, baby. Wishful thinking, friend.
I'm telling you, that's some foreplay right there.
Yeah.
That's sexy.
Yeah, what?
Have y'all seen that TikTok of the man? And it's like, she wanted some foreplay and he breaks out and starts cleaning up and cooking dinner and all this stuff. And he got some sexy music playing in the background.
Girl.
Listen, them acts of service
is sexy.
Listen, please dust the TV off, honey. Yes.
Oh my God, the things that turn us on now.
Y'all missing it. See, let me just drop this tidbit as a sex therapist.
God.
I'm gonna drop a little knowledge for you guys. I have done speeches in front of big groups before, and I'm like, "Hey, ladies, what's the way your husband tries to get you to, let you know he's in the mood?" And they're like, "He grabs my boobs, he throws his hand in my crotch, he smacks my booty." Y'all, many women don't like that. I know you see it in the videos.
I like it though, friend.
Okay.
I like it.
That's what you want? You just want him to walk in here and do that?
Smack my ass. I like that, friend.
But that's fine in the midst of it. But you come home from work. Okay, you know what? Let me ask you.
No.
I'm going to put you out there. Because you said
I don't know if I would want it every time when I'm tired and I'm not in the mood.
You just came in from court. You in your little nice suit and your stilettos. And James comes up to you and just smacks your booty.
Well, that's normal. So that probably give me something else. That's normal. So that don't bother me anymore. But I know him, so it's like, okay, you keep it moving. You take a lick and you keep on ticking like the time makes. So you take that lick, you keep on.
But you're making my point though, because you said you'll take that lick. It ain't like you gonna turn around and go, okay, let me take my clothes off.
No.
Right.
I'm
so
coming
it didn't
in
work.
and I'm coming in.
I need a minute.
Right. I'm coming in. I got to do the things I need to do to decompress.
Let me get out of this suit, these shoes,
that part,
whatever.
That part.
Yeah, so it's still not serving the purpose. So y'all, that's my point right there. That don't do it for everybody. It that you do that. 95% of these women don't want you walking up while they trying to stir the spaghetti sauce and grabbing a boob. And sometimes y'all be doing it on the sneak tip while the kids in the room, and then we really mortified.
Right, because we like, now that right there, I'd be like, don't do that in front of my son. He ain't watching. You know what I'm saying?
I know. Doing the most while company over. Y'all, find out what kind of foreplay your woman wants for real now. And stop with this. I just want to do what I want to do.
But I told
it ain't
you,
all about you.
my husband's language is physical touch. So I get it. So, again, you gotta know who you with. So it's like,
Mekka got you out here on Front Street, James. Y'all pray for
Louise
James.
put you out there. So
no, she the one said.
She put you out there, baby.
She the one said she want her booty smacked. I'm just saying. That's what she said. That's what I heard. I'm standing right here in front of her, y'all. I heard her.
You so crazy, Fred. You crazy. You crazy. He already know, though. He already know.
Oh.
So, but what about the ones who, there's no medical issue.
Okay.
There is no pain associated with it at all. And they just don't want to. Mm-hmm. It could be, there is definitely a reason, but the reason hasn't been articulated.
Or maybe it's not a physical reason. Maybe it's an emotional one.
But even so is a reason. And that reason hasn't been articulated.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I really just don't think that's fair to the counterpart. I really
agree
don't,
with that.
because sex is important. Intimacy is important in most relationships. Yep. Of course, if you got a medical reason and all of that, we completely understand that.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you're not going through a physical where it's hurting you, you're not having a medical issue, it could be emotional. It could be, I just don't feel pretty. But how long do you let that go without, providing that intimacy that your partner needs, and you also on the flip side are not communicating? I just don't think that's fair to your counterpart, because they're missing out on being intimate with you. Yeah. They're missing out on the love that they may need or perceive from the sex they get with you. So your relationship lacks. So bottom line, you need to communicate. Like we said, you got to talk about it.
Absolutely.
You got to talk about it, because it's really not fair for the counterpart. And that could be male or female, whoever is doing the holding out, or whoever is not providing, whoever is not being there, whoever is not sacrificing. And we do make those sacrifices.
Yeah. That what you're talking about when you said, you want that physical relationship, you want that intimacy. A lot of times when we talk about intimacy, most of the time we're referring to physical intimacy. Right. And I try to really, really encourage people, as well as in my own marriage, emotional intimacy is equally, maybe even more so. Maybe even more so.
I agree with you, because
important. Not that we should take all the physical intimacy and push it aside, but that emotional intimacy goes way deeper than what the physical can give you. Because if I'm hurting, that's, if I can give you that, I feel strong enough to be able to share with you. I feel like you're a safe space, and that can happen not just in couple relationships or romantic relationships, but even brotherly, sisterly relationships, best friends, whatever. I need to feel like I'm safe in your space, and I can share with you. And I feel bad for people who feel like they don't have that, right? Especially in a couple.
Right. I was about to say, especially bad in a committed relationship.
Yeah, that you don't feel safe enough to be able to be assertive and confident in that space and share with that other person how you're feeling. Because if there is a pain, if there is a I don't like you right now, if there is an emotional breakdown, it could be a self-esteem thing. I should feel good enough to say, you know what, we don't use the F word in my house, but I'm gonna use it right now. Like maybe I'm feeling fat, right? And I feel chunky to me.
Right.
And so if I say that to you, then it's like, okay, now we can work on this together.
Right.
Because now we can come together and attack the problem together. And I'm not just sitting here going through that by myself.
Right.
Now we're going after it as a couple. From a scriptural standpoint, one can put down 1,000, two can put down 10,000. So the two of us should be coming together and fighting this together, whether it's through prayer, meditation, whether it's talking through it, trying to come up with solutions, going to therapy, whatever it is. We should be tackling these things together. And our relationship is going to be stronger because of that vulnerability, because of that assertiveness, because of that safe space that we have in our coupleship.
But I totally agree with you about especially when it comes to women, about the emotional connection. We need that, because with women, men folk that don't know, with women, we need to connect with you on an emotional level to want to provide you that physical connection.
Yes.
So
we want that
that's
first.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
First for us. First. That's where it starts for us. But for the men, it's flipped.
Yep.
It's like they need the physical in order to have that emotional connection with you. So it's sort of like, hey, if you're willing to sleep with me, then I feel the love from you. So they get the love on the back end. We need the love on the front end to be able to give ourselves freely and openly and willingly to you physically. Once we feel that. So it could be in a relationship that, hey, you're not providing your mate or your spouse with what they need emotionally, that love for them to be willing to, lay down with you physically.
Yeah, it's worth the check-in, guys. It is definitely worth the check-in to be like, babe, I was listening to this podcast, Love Sweets Volumes. Y'all go out there, copy this everywhere, right?
Everywhere.
But I was listening to it, and these two ladies were talking about, that emotional intimacy and that check-in to see where I am with you and where you are with me. And let's talk about that stuff so I can kind of check in and know where we are. Like,
and ladies, when they do check in, be willing to open up.
Please be assertive.
Be willing to open up and tell them what the issue is. Because the problem is the problem. This, you not giving any, or you not, willing. That's not the underlying problem. That is a product of the problem. Right. That is a consequence of the problem. The underlying problem is whatever the underlying problem is. And you need to share that with your significant other so that you guys can attack the problem. Let the problem be the problem. And then you can work on the stuff that comes from the problem. Right?
Yeah. So. Now, I do want to say, Mekka just gave this great idea about the differences in, feeling emotionally connected, and then you're able to have sex, and the men are on the opposite.
At least willing to. You
are
can
willing
sacrifice
to have
and
sex,
do it, but you will want
that,
to.
And then the men feel emotionally connected afterwards. Now, for all our sneaky links out there, the ones that's out there doing the most, okay, y'all, you might be just doing it hoping that at the end of this, he is going to be connected to you. And I want to challenge y'all there, because you need to be, it should be a give and take relationship.
Absolutely.
If you're giving into this relationship and all he is doing is taking from you, then you might want to check that.
What friend is saying is, don't think because you lay down, you going to get up with his love and his heart. That does not, just because you lay down and spread does not mean you getting up with his heart. That is not how this works.
And please don't be out here talking about, I put it on him, honey. He loved me.
You know what? You and her and them and all of them, rest of them putting it on it too. So yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Just
so don't be so naive to think that that you got that pot of gold that's gonna stir him in. You need to be shown. He needs to be showing you signs from the get go that he is the one for you, as opposed to you thinking your love making is going to reel him in. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, you're gonna have to bring something else, because you can go pay for sex
anywhere.
You can. I ain't even gonna go there.
Yeah,
friend.
don't do it.
I was gonna go there.
Don't do it.
I ain't gonna go there. This is good, y'all. Yeah. This is real good.
Yeah. So bottom line, if there is there's a couple of things that came out of this. Men, we need you to really think about whether you really want to know.
You want the truth?
You really want to know how often we're sacrificing? And do you really want us not to give you any if we really ain't in the mood to do so? That's 2. And 3, we really need you guys communicating. Yeah. Because if you're not getting it, or if you're not giving it, there is a reason why.
Usually
and
there
you
is.
Need to be talking about that reason.
Right. Absolutely. Put it out there. And if it's pain related, if you think it's physiological, if you don't know if it's physiological, ask your doctor to run whatever panels need to be run to see, especially as people get older. So I just, from a medical standpoint, I do want to encourage people to get checked out, y'all. It's okay.
Yes.
It's okay, you know, and whatever you find out is better to find out early rather than later.
Absolutely.
You know, and our prayers again are with, you know, all those who may be suffering with something, anything. We all go through medical stuff and it's scary. So just know we cut up on Love Speaks Volume, but we also communicate with the Lord. Yes. So we will pray for you and with you.
Absolutely. We're praying for all y'all, even those who don't have a medical issue, but just, you know, ain't giving it up because of whatever the
Maybe
reason, whatever that why is. But I'm praying for that relationship because it's not fair to that other person who may need that, who may, you know, is seeking and wanting and desiring that type of connection with you, that intimacy with you, and you're just not giving it. That's going to be a problem in your relationship going forward. So you might want to check that before you wreck that.
Yes, what friend said. Y'all, we got some exciting things coming up with Love Speaks Volume. We're going on the camera soon. Yes, so we get, like I said at the beginning of this episode, we're going to be live, y'all.
I don't know if y'all ready. I don't know if I'm ready. But we about to do it.
We're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it scared, uncomfortable, whatever. We're going to do the best we can. So stay tuned for that. We're still out here on Apple Podcasts. Yes. We are on Deezer. We're on iHeartRadio, Spotify and YouTube, Amazon Music. Yep. We're on YouTube.
TikTok.
We got a TikTok, y'all.
TikTok. Yeah.
So look for us there. We're also on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes. So we're about to start this Facebook group page. I want y'all to join.
Join the group, y'all.
Get the discussions going.
Yes. Absolutely. And we'll be there. We're going to be plugging in and getting everybody connected and doing this thing.
Absolutely. Wow. Absolutely. And if you got certain episodes that you want to hear, or you want certain topics you want us to talk about, drop us a note.
Send it. It goes down in the DM.
Yeah. Hey.
Well,
and she ain't meaning the Department of Motor Vehicles. She's talking about direct messenger.
For anybody who didn't know what that was. All right, guys. Well, until next time, let's talk about it. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Love Speaks Volumes by Black Diamonds 2.0 Entertainment.